Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. I shouldn't have to explain the title of today's vlog, but I feel obligated to explain it because of the poor state of our educational system today and the bias that we have in our institutions of learning, especially our institutions of higher learning. Not all of them, but a significant number. This bias against the teaching of Western civilization. So some of you out there, if you were a victim, I was going to say educated in, but I should say you're a victim of today's educational system. That first part of the title, Après Trump, le deluge, and pardon my poor French, obviously I did not take French in school back in my educational days, long ago. But that comes from the famous deathbed statement of Louis XV, the French king, après moi, le deluge. After me, the flood. That's what I'm talking about in the title. Après Trump, after Trump, the flood, only in this case of illegal immigrants, or as I call them, unlawful aliens. That's actually what they are, because they're not supposed to be immigrants. But here, well, let me give you this headline. Top border official warns of, quote, full-blown crisis overnight, unquote, as illegal crossings hit 70,000 in November. Let me give you a little bit of quote from that article, and then I got another headline for you. But talking about this article, United States border officials encountered more than 70,000 migrants who tried to enter the U.S. from Mexico illegally in November, 4 times the number of people seen in April. Acting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Mark Morgan said Monday that federal agents on the southern border have seen a, quote, significant, unquote, increase in arrests of illegal immigrants between ports of entry and the number of migrants turned away at border crossings over the past 7 months. November's count this year was notably higher than the 42,000 people, which is pretty high in itself, a little aside there from me, 42,000 people encountered at the southern border during the same month last year. In April, just 17,000 people were encountered by border officials on the southern border. Border Patrol agents are now averaging 2,300 arrests per day across California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, more than double the 1,000 figure that former Obama-era Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson said indicated a, quote, crisis, unquote, on the border. Quote, if the current policies in place are revoked, that would be the Trump policies, as their critics promised they would do, the 23,000 per day will become a full-blown crisis overnight as we stand by and watch the numbers go even higher, making the last year's crisis pale in comparison, unquote, Morgan said. Okay, well, I got one more headline here for you. Let me give you this, and then we'll go on to my comments. A new migrant caravan forms in Honduras, an early test for Biden. Early test for Biden. That's what we're talking about. The reason that we're seeing this sudden flood that Trump had stopped of unlawful aliens flooding towards the border is because they anticipate Joe Biden and the Democrats letting them all in. I guess we have to depend on the president of Mexico. The president of Mexico, after pressure from or under pressure from Trump, put about 23,000 to 26,000, I forget the exact number, soldiers along the border between Mexico and us, and also put soldiers along the border with Guatemala. In other words, the Mexican administration took steps to stop the flood of these unlawful aliens towards the United States. So now we have to depend on Mexico to do the same thing, but will they be under the same pressure from a Biden administration? I have to wonder about it. I would hope that the president of Mexico would not want all these unlawful aliens flooding into their own country, Mexico, trying to get into our country. But I really worry that the Democrats are going to be at what they were at before, and Biden is too weak, wishy-washy, even though he has spoken out against unlawful immigration before. But let all these unlawful aliens flood into our country, get on public aid, and vote illegally. As if enough unlawful aliens did not vote illegally last time in just this last election. But it worked so well for our friends on the other side of the aisle. Why would they not want that same policy to continue, or that same phenomenon to continue? And then we have the plain fact that our friends on the other side, a lot of them, I won't say most, but definitely a lot of them, don't care about the United States. They don't believe in national borders at all. They think we should all be citizens of the world, which is another reason why they would want to flood this country with unlawful aliens from other countries. And finally, I mentioned earlier, this bias against Western civilization. So they want to flood the country with people from third world countries because they refuse to admit that some cultures, some civilizations are superior to others. And I really mean that, superior to others. Better technology, better justice system, better educational system. I worry about it. I worry about it. It's just Biden hasn't even taken office yet. We'll have to see what happens. It's up to us, I suppose, to write to our Congress people and hope for them to, well, if you live in Georgia, vote in those runoffs. If you're a conservative, get out there and vote, because that would be the only bulwark against Biden doing something like this. And he still can do a lot just through executive orders. But if the Democrats control the White House and the Senate and the House, and if Democrats, God forbid, take away the filibuster in the Senate, then it'll be Katie bar the door. Except Katie's not going to bar the door. Katie is going to let an unlimited amount of unlawful immigrants with no skills, no education, no English speaking ability just flood into the country. So I wish I could end on a happier note. Unfortunately, I can't today. I can only say, well, I was going to say thumbs up if you like this video, but I don't know what there was to like about it in this video today. If you liked me, I guess if you got something out of it, even though the news is not happy, then thumbs up, I would appreciate it. If you have any comments, you can put them, well, share the video with anybody you think would also get something out of it. And if you have comments, comment section below the video. You can put questions, suggestions for future topics. You could subscribe. I love getting new subscribers. You could also, if you have some time, just for your own listening pleasure, listen to some of my original music videos. I put a link in the description below. You could also know how much I appreciate your spending your time with me today. I really do appreciate it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.